Hi, my name's Jenny J. I'm one of the co-founders of JTN Music. I'm here this evening to have an interview with Frenchie King, the other half of JTN Music. We're just going to talk a little bit about his career. Okay? So Frenchie, thank you for joining me in this capacity. This is a very different one.
Welcome, sister. Welcome.
Okay, look, I'm going to just ask you a few questions. We want to get to know the man a little bit more, you know, Mr. King, the man on a mission. You understand? So I read that you sang in the church before getting involved with reggae music. What made you take that transition? Why go into reggae music after being in the church?
Well, it could have been anyone, but at that particular time, we were young children, our grandparents and our parents. Even if your parents don't go to church, them send you to church. And if you don't go, you get a beating. You understand? If you don't go to church, you get what you call licks. And so one of the first things that you learn to spell like little children was licks. You have to go to church, even if the pastor say, Amen.
Yes.
You must be in church.
Right.
It's a tradition.
Yes.
All right, so when we went to church here, it was in a little school hall with a lady, Sister Grant, Pastor Grant, and they were setting up their ministry. And so the choir practice to get we to sing in church was everybody take part.
Right. Okay.
So you go around the churches, them.
Okay.
And the choir them sing, or the groups them sing, and I was part of that. Now Sister Grant was a very tiny woman.
Okay.
So when we were singing, she used to say, "Peps, Brother Francis, peps. You must sing with peps."
What does she mean by that?
That you must sing with feeling
Yes.
and emotion.
Emotion, yes.
That's what she called peps and
Right.
style, know?
Yes.
Yeah, so after leaving there, we went to Wilson Church, down the road there.
So what age group were you when you came over to the UK?
I was a young boy, I was just nearly 12 year old at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I left Jamaica at a young age, and you can count the dots. I put in the dots. 1965, I landed in this country with a culture shock that I want to jump on the plane and go back home. You understand? So it was kind of that vibe still, But when we reached Wilsden, we met a band called Sounds of Zion.
Okay.
Which was considered Joel Edwards, Hilton Manning on drum, and Errol Manning on bass. And there's a singer called, I think, George McCain, very great singer, and keyboard, I think his name, we only call him Garwood, but he was one of those genius on keyboards. Yeah, I mean, if you upset him while he's playing, even the deacons them afraid of him.
Okay.
Because you can't disturb him,
So this is a group, sorry to cut you, this is a group in the church.
Called Sounds of Zion.
Okay.
And we admire them for their playing ability so much. It was fantastic to hear people play instrument that touch you, and they didn't have no effects like how modern music have. And this guitarist would play his guitar like his water flow. And then the Pastor Kennedy, who came along, was a guitarist as well.
Okay.
But the way the music is progressing now, he said the Errol Manning, who couldn't read or write music and didn't know a note on the guitar, he said Errol play the guitar like it's too rude. Yeah, he did.
Wow.
And that's how I got into it. From there now, fortunately, Ronnie Bop was at Palmer.
Okay.
You understand? Dave know about Ronnie Bop, Jamaican guitarist, And the thing is with that now, Daphne, a young lady, said to Alton, he can't play like Roy, which is a guitarist in our band. Said, these guys can play better than the band that you're using. naturally Alton kind of just shrug and say she don't know what she's
Doesn't
talking
know what
about.
she's saying, yeah.
But anyway, she convinced him, and he came up and saw us in Wembley. We was living in Wembley. All of us was living in Wembley as musicians at the time, except for Donald Griffith, who was one later took to Aswad.
Okay, okay.
You understand? So therefore, when Alton came and see us, and you know, usually we have our guitar and practicing. You know, it's like Dave said, it's an everyday thing.
Yes, yes.
So we kind of hit it off, Alton and us, and he said, well, the best thing for you to do is to form a band. So we formed Black Stallion.
Okay.
That's how Black Stallion came to into being. And from there we took it, whereas Alton introduced us. We play all over England with Alton. And then came Dennis Al Capone, and you had Tito Simon at a later stage, but we had Ken Parker and John Holt. When we were on stage, John Holt used to jump on stages in the early days. It was quite exciting.
Oh, I can imagine now.
Yeah, and Dennis Brown, you know, and Dennis Brown also. When Golden Age was in Avia Road there by the job center, there was Golden Age formed by one of the members of the Pioneers.
Okay.
And so when him paid Dennis, him check Dennis, come Frenchie, come we go change. Kind of make sure him getting money, you know?
Yes.
So those times was, I mean, it was buzzing. These guys was coming from all over. I mean, I remember when Black Slate formed, and they were little kids, Black Slate, and the drummer could hardly reach the drum pedal. Shaka was downstairs. You know, those are the days. I mean, you was a raver, Jen. You know, you understand? Wow. So that was the era, you know. Everybody was going. The Black Stone, Black Slate, the Black Stallion. There's a band called Red Clouds, and not to forget Jum Digo, I think you name. Remember? You know, everybody was there. But the original band of the time, I think it was Tim Shandell band.
Okay.
I can't even. It's something like Shadracks, the name, you know. And we learned to play guitar from an old boy called Bowtie, who used to play the steel guitar.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
Every time in the afternoon, we time him, when him come from pub drunk, and him get into his music and start to play, it used to buzz
touch
you.
Yeah.
So, you know, so Jonesy, which is Tim Shandell brother, play. I think I've never heard a country and western player in this country play country and western like him. But I don't know what happened. If he plays and you like it and you tell him to play again and him said, no, don't push him.
Right.
He would just fling down the guitar and that's it. Yeah, but he was a great artist.
So, yeah, it sounds really exciting times. So boy, them times are, to me, that's like Christmas every day, you know?
Yeah, it was
but,
like that.
You know, your early releases, your music was really quite diverse musically, and with genres, you know, you had some, you know, kind of like blues, your rock, your pop, you know, your ballads. You wasn't set on one, you know, your reggae roots. You wasn't set on one thing.
A combination.
You had a combination, of music. So, who influenced you musically to kind of come with those sounds? You know, in your music?
Well, let's look at it this way. We came from the church. We came from gospel music.
Yeah.
And which is all the genres of music is in gospel. Whether it be jazz, blues. I used to listen to Mighty Cloud of Joy, Five Blind Boy from Alabama. All these great voices that you never hear on the street, and I wanted to experiment.
Yes.
Because I'm singing gospel, precious Lord.
Yes.
Those things, you know.
Yes.
and other things, Rock of Ages. But when I hear the Mighty Clouds of Joy and the Five Blind Boy, and then Mahalia Jackson, of course Sam Cooke doing gospel as well, it excited me.
Yeah.
You understand? It's very much the same thing like all the Jamaican artists. We listen to a lot of American music, but deep inside of you, you know, something was growing. And that is the thing that got me. So I'm here, I listen to American from Nat King Cole come on down, and the Brook Benton every day, and Jim Reeve in the house Sunday morning time.
Oh gosh, I think everybody had Jim Reeves. They had to listen to Sunday morning. We had to as well.
Yeah, my dad used to murder me with Jim Reeves. You understand? But he loved Brook Benton. And I get to love Brook Benton. You know, the deep voice, it fascinates me. It could get so deep, so middle, and so
high.
Within the same range.
Yeah, really.
And Ken Parker was the other artist that really stretched my imagination. That way, it could get down to the deep voice and the middle, and then the falsetto. That used to fascinate me.
Okay.
And then I heard Mr. Dave Barker, right? Jackie Edwards, Wilfred Jackie Edwards, you understand?
Yes.
Of course, the Wailer was just coming up and all that. I didn't really latch on to Wailers till it was near enough to catch a fire. Even though I've listened to the Wailers doing Simmer Down, you know, those kind of songs. Yeah, in the early days. But we were here, and Jimi Hendrix was blazing.
Well, I'm coming to that because I understand you covered one of his songs.
Yeah, we did it live.
Which one was it actually that you covered?
Hey Joe.
Oh wow.
And Bob Marley was there.
He was in front line.
Bob Marley was there. I mean, Dave can tell you how them stand, them have them foot cock up on the stage and like that. You know. And him and his drummer was there, Carly. And Dennis Al Capone, we're back in Dennis Al Capone, so we were doing our set.
Okay.
And we did African Lady, which Ken Boo did.
Okay.
And it was, we didn't have no horns, so the guitarist actually played the horn section.
Look at that.
So that's what we did. And I was singing without harmony, so that I was wandering all over the place, doing the Otis, the Sam, you know. You understand? So Bob Marley was there, kind of shocked, you know. And in the audience afterwards, my sister told me, he said, boy, this guy do it better than me. And when we did, in particular, Hey Joe, we did it just like Jimi Hendrix.
Look at that. I'd have loved to have heard that.
Just like Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
We didn't, because that's the way we learned it. But we also have reggae in us.
Exactly.
So while we're playing that, we switched it into reggae, which blew Bob Marley away.
I could imagine.
Totally blew him away. Right? And so what I'm saying is music is such a great mix. After that, I think Bob went and drove Alanis.
Yes.
You understand me?
Yeah.
Because he came here, he was living in East End here sometime.
Okay.
Right? I think with Bonnie Mackenzie, amongst Bonnie Mackenzie's, Candy Mackenzie, and everybody used to be mixed. Simran actually backed Bob Marley as the Wailers and do a few shows.
Okay.
And you never hear that mentioned.
Right.
And that's another issue that I don't like about our disunity in music.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
So when we did that and see that it was good, I turned my attention to Free.
Well, I was coming to that because I understand you covered Free's song, I Feel Like Making Love.
Yeah, and I really do. Yeah, the song is fantastic. I
can hear that though. I can hear that. I can hear it in a kind of rootsy reggae with them guitars going on in it.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, you know, I like rock. You know, I mean, Afro rock or any rock that is soulful, like in the genre of Free.
Yes.
You know, I like that. So that's how I cover these songs, really.
Wow.
And you remember Branded Black, The Revolution?
Yes.
You know, a song called Branded. I did that, you know, that was the revolution. When, you know, in the early days we were watching and listening to the American revolution that was going on, the atrocities with black people, you know, the shooting and the lynching, and you know, so Branded was about that era at the same time.
But when you listen to, you know, having listened to some of your songs, you've got that element in your music about, you know, people, freedom, you know, people had enough, never surrender, you know, the titles of your songs, you know, you seem to capture what's going on with the people, you know, dollars and pounds, you know.
Yeah, those songs came later, and that album, People Had Enough, came when our brother Loxley died, because he used to be everywhere with us. He was my best friend. He's my brother from another mother. You understand? I mean, real brother. And I mean, we fight together. We cuss and quarrel together. You know, if I'm
rave together.
If I reach his house and him have him dinner, his missus Claudette cook him dinner, and he said to me, "You want some food?" I said, "No man, my dinner is at home. Me sure my dinner is at home." Him say, "You never know, brother. Eat some of my dinner." And he insists that you eat some of it. And I have to, if I even have a dumpling, my brother, you have to eat it, you know. And it was real.
Yes.
Dave Barker and myself spent many years in his front room. And even when we go to the recording studio, unless we listen to it and he said we can't go out of bed, so we go wake him out of bed, which made Claudette very upset.
I can imagine.
Very upset. You understand? Till him start like we out of the house.
Well, the man had his priorities right, shall I say?
Gee,
yeah. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, man. So that's the vibe. But with Loxley now on this album, I went to Bubblers, and you know, I had a young child at the time, which I was looking after for. He was 8 months old. Benji, I want you to remember this: 8 months old.
So you know what it's like to be a mother and a father all in one?
Well, everything, brother. Everything.
Nurse, doctor, cook,
everything.
seamstress.
Everything.
Yeah. Teacher.
So it's a good thing so my granny teach me well.
Exactly.
Bless up Miss Dorothy good and Mr. Henry Wo, Nana and Tata. You understand? So I went to Bubblers, didn't have no money. All I could do is do with tradition, throw like a 20 pound a week partner. And I said to Bubblers, you know me and Lux and him, the cemetery is over there in Bubblers yard here really. I said to Bubblers, I ain't got no money in no Bubs. And in them times now I kind of take myself out of music, right, for a little while. You know, become a recluse. Because I didn't like what was going on in music. Violence at that time, fill the city, fill the music. Everything is a bad man this and a Dan man this. And them attack it and then become reality where them going to dance, go shoot. And I say enough is enough because if they more shoot out of me, shoot back. And I didn't want that. So I left. Totally consciously left because too much bad man and Dan man and this young man. So I just kind of left that. Because music now have nothing at all to do with that.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
You know, music is taking you up to a level where you're actually singing in front of the throne of the Most High God, the head creator.
Exactly. I totally agree. And music's supposed to unify.
And it's a healing power.
Yeah, exactly. But it's supposed to unify people. It's not supposed to, you know, have this thing going on, war and battle and, as you said, all this Don business. Where did that come into it for the music?
It came in because some people come in it where them can't sing, them can't play. And it's become a hustling ground for people because it's so attractive. When you're up on stage, a lot of people see it. When you don't see it that way, but them see, boy, me can go up on stage, me a star boy, and them can't get enough girl.
Okay. So the motive was all wrong.
It was completely wrong.
Yeah.
And they get away with it. You understand? And I couldn't understand why them get away with so much mockeries, you know? You understand?
Mm.
So before Papa bring fire, like my granny used to say, make the ground simple.
Yeah.
You see, the thing about it, I live both worlds. I live in Jamaica. And when I came here young, I make sure that I go back to Jamaica. That I can walk down my street and by myself. I don't need no security. And then my parents moved back there, so it make it easy. Like we were living in two places.
Yes.
You know, so when Bob Laws say yes, and I join me like a partner, and soon as I get my job, the lady, thank God, I can't remember her name now, but she said, it's all right, Frenchie, I'll make sure you get it, man. And she come up and give me a partner job. And the first money that I put in Bubblers, and him say, oh, gee, wow. So I said, why you say wow? He said, because people make me record for them and they don't give me my money.
Okay. So
that I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
You know, when a man work musically, you're supposed to give him money. Exactly. You know, understand? Exactly. And he was in the community doing wonderful works, not just for me, but for everybody else. You understand? And yeah, I paid him, and it took about 2 years with a little young baby. Benji used to be downstairs playing games. Bubblers come up and put him to play games so that he don't disturb the session. You see what I'm saying? This is the struggle that we go through, you know? And we completed that album, and I decided, so well, people had enough because I've had enough. And I think people could relate to it, you know? Blackbird was one of the songs that Akabu, our female group locally, that's one of the first songs that I taught them. And I think without no, what the right word, kind of slip my mind, without no, like saying, you're showing off, or they went to America and teared down a cappella when all the instruments and people cry. All the Americans, I think it's either Virus who told me, she's dying now, God bless her soul. She said, Frenchie and Valerie, everything went wrong. Couldn't sound, and the Americans, they didn't like it. Get that reggae, we don't like no reggae music. And she said, let me sing.
A cappella.
Blackbird.
So it's like a folk song. Yeah.
Blackbird.
Yeah.
And they sang it and the people started crying. These violent people who are prejudiced, don't like reggae, start to cry. And they said they went to Japan, I think, and did the same thing, and the people started to cry.
So that's
Blackbird is on the album.
So it's supposed to be just a vocal. It's a spiritual song for it to
it's
affect people like that.
Yeah.
It touches here.
Yeah.
You understand?
I think if I'm not mistaken, Valerie tell me that she have the cassette player where I was teaching them how to play the song.
Wow, look at that.
So, you know, a lot of, they were just farming.
Yeah.
They didn't have no particular song or anything like that they were written. And, you know, we were good friends. Virus, the singer, was in front of me where we was at Rough Cut. Dan Campbell too. And Dan Campbell also played drums on some of the tracks with me and Dave Barker.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
We went and gave Rough Cut.
We're talking about Don Campbell, the singer.
Yeah.
Okay. So he plays drums also.
Yeah, he's a and guitar.
I didn't know
very talented fella.
Right.
You understand?
Wow.
So from that, you know, we released the music, the album, and yeah, people had enough. But it's not the original, people had enough.
I hear you.
You understand?
I hear you, yes.
Yeah, so there's more.
Okay. All right, you know, I've just got a couple more questions for you. What do you feel is the best song that you've released to date, and why?
Well, I say the album, because the album is diverse. People had enough, that album. Me and Dave Barker, we walked into Jim Daddy's studio in Peckham, and Dave was supposed to do another song. And Dave said, no, you know what? I think that guy sing it so good. I don't think I really want to do it. And so just wipe my voice. So the brother said to him, we have a next rhythm here, because he really wanted Dave to sing.
Yes.
And when Dave heard the track, he said, Frenchie, that's right up Frenchie Street. But because I was a countryman, not a Kingstonian,
yes.
I think he had an issue with that.
Yeah.
You know? Because
really?
Yeah. You got
Does
to
all that
answer.
come into the music business as well?
Everything coming out of the music business.
Serious.
Wow.
You leave from Clarendonians, that's why they name Clarendonian, because Freddie McGregor and Ernest Wilson, they're Clarendonians.
Okay, so they're countrymen.
They're countrymen, basically. You know, and like Jimmy Cliff
Yes.
tell you specifically, I left country and go to Kingston. This is the treatment I get in Kingston.
Right.
First thing them do is rob you. You understand? But it's a very grave mistake because countrymen plant the food, and if the food don't reach Kingston, everybody starves.
Exactly. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, of course.
So it all them kind of advice they come in, and if you don't come from Kingston, you use nobody. I'm telling you the truth. It's the real truth.
That's terrible. That's
Yeah,
terrible.
of course it is. But also, you know, when I did this song here and we sent it to Jamaica, I took it to Jamaica. Everybody want them palm grease with money. Now I'm so glad to do this album. I'm getting these kind of nice vibes from the album, and I go down. Everybody say, "Yeah, man, we know this one." When we go, the security man want the man full of money before he can go tell the next guy inside here, and then he wants the money, and then the next guy now want, and the DJ they want the money. So your music don't get played, and I understand that now. No Jamaican radio personalities don't play English record, and look at the vibe that we have in England with people going to the charts. I mean, Simran's beat Bob Marley to go to #1 in Jamaica. I mean, Aswa did wonderfully well, you know, but of all the great British artists, I think Steel Pulse is the one that captured Jamaica.
Yeah.
You understand? So, yeah, there's a lot of vibes. And I one of my greatest sadness is that the DJs, them don't really feature British artists. And also, because I was more diverse, I used to put on my own gig, so I didn't mind. I just put on my own gig and promote the artists them around me, such as Alton himself. I got songs with Owen Gray. Dave, as you know, we produce. Bobby Davis from Sensation also helped me out. You understand me? And do a lot of great things for us. But I really have a bad vibes about the artists. Them not one interview that I heard that say this band back Alton Ellis. We back Alton Ellis for many years. Back Al Capone too for many years. Back Ken Parker, back Tito Simon, and a host of others. You know,
so you got some greats, and yet you never got.
Not one. It's not just us. It's not just us. No artist. This is the thing. No artist has ever mentioned a backing group that make them here famous.
Right.
On the scene in England and keep up their career. I've never heard one. I never heard Alton Ellis, who's my mentor, mention Black Stallion when he was in Jamaica. Never. King Sounds, who used to be, he used to introduce us on stage. And we do a lot of shows with King Sound, local guy here. And all the bands, everybody, Sounds went to Jamaica and do a lot of good things with his music. But I never heard nobody mention Stallion. I never hear nobody mention Black Slate. I never hear nobody mention Simran's from Jimmy Cliff downwards or upwards. Bob Marley downwards or upwards. Frank used to write out the program for Bob Marley because he didn't know what was happening on the scene here.
Okay.
And this is Simran's band.
Look at that.
You understand? Delroy Washington, Dead and Gone was constantly down there with Bob and Pete and Bunny. You know, nobody don't mention British band that helped them here. And I find that very strange. Them living in your house, you feed them, because they're not working. You give them food, clothes, and shelter. And they never ever mention you. So I decided, say, you know what, me's a man.
Mm.
And through them alternates give me the name King, me believe so me's a king. And I didn't kind of fear nobody. I just put on some talent contests and some shows differently and just make my living.
Right.
And cut out the backing. I'm not backing nobody again. If anything, them have to back me.
Of course, yeah.
You understand?
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. So, yeah. That's the cutthroat business.
It is
the
indeed.
cutthroat business.
Imagine you leave Jamaica and come here, or we leave as an artist and come here. And Slim Smith was a tragedy. He lived here and he lived amongst us. Slim Smith is a godfather for my friend's 2 children. And when he went back, they laughed at him.
Wow.
That's one of the, because they said his voice, Colonel Campbell was coming and they made the song in a higher pitch, and when he's singing, he's struggling. So they laugh at him. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm punching glass and busting brain.
Okay.
You understand? Because I don't understand it. Instead of helping him, this great artist, I mean, he live amongst us. My best friend, you know where Slim Smith eat his last breakfast when he's leaving England? My Virgin Loxley mother house, Miss Morrison. And his Loxley uncle, I'm talking about Barry, that his 2 children.
He's the godfather for
Slim is the godfather. Him and Barry was like this. See? So there's some, I mean, it's beautiful, but it also has some dark side.
Yeah.
You understand me? I mean, all we need was the sound of Jamaica. That's all we need. And I think the only producer who took them is Black Stones.
Okay.
Coxon that actually take them in and do 2 albums with them. I don't know if he took any more English, but because Black Stone had the harmonic sound, like all of the great Carlton and his shoes and all these big harmonic.
So that had that kind of sound, yes.
Yeah,
like
and
the Jamaican sound.
Coxon that invite them down to do that, you know.
Okay.
But I don't see nothing else, you know.
Okay, you're the co-founder of JTN Music. What's your vision for the label?
To put real music on it. That's all I'm there. The vision is to go as far as possible, but not to duplicate. It's to come with creation.
Yes.
And if we do other people's songs, cover version, it have to have our own input.
Yes.
We have to have that. Otherwise, it don't make sense. If you want the original, go and buy the original.
Exactly.
So if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it different.
Yes.
Because the original is there.
Yes. I hear you.
So if you want the original, go and buy it. But when it comes to me and JTN, I'm gonna go for the very best. This is why I start with the very best. Dave Barker,
right.
and Jenny J. And we have a lot more because we have a lot more to come of the legend. You understand?
Of course.
Yeah.
I do believe that, yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, as you were talking about, sorry to cut you, Frenchie, you know, making the song our own, that it will have that JTN stamp. You know, you've done it with Dave Barker with the production of the I Started a Joke. You know, that was the original song of the Bee Gees. You know, he listens to the Bee Gees, Barry Morris's, no, I think it was Robin who sang that song. And it was a beautiful song.
Great song.
And then you've come and taken it now, and you've taken it into another place with Dave Barker's vocals, and the musical element of it. You'd have to really listen to it. It's only when you hear I Started a Joke, it's about weird. Isn't that the Bee Gees song? You know, because you put your stamp on it. You know, it's really a different song. But it's still got that sweetness with Dave Barker. Just coming back to that, Dave Barker's vocals just gave it that sweetness. Because it is that kind of vibing song, isn't it?
Well, let me give you a story. When Dave hit the charts here, with Double Barrel and Monkey Spanner, I mean, I've heard What a Confusion, which was a big dancehall hit, which Bonnie Wheeler sing the harmony, right? The world forgot that Dave Barker could sing.
Yeah.
The whole world.
Yeah,
because of that number one.
Songs, yes.
And I'm saying to myself, what is this?
Yeah.
Then he went to Cargo. and with Tim Cansfield, is it Errol? Errol and Trevor, bass, Errol and drum. Who else again, Mr. Barker? You can have the saxophone player or the trumpet player. They was so long ago. But anyway, Dave Barker, never lose, never win. Everybody blaze up on Junior English version in the reggae. But Cargo did it.
Yeah.
Dave Barker did it.
Bobby.
Bobby did it. Bobby, you see it?
Bobby.
You see it?
Yes, man. He did
I
a fantastic job.
hear you.
You understand? We see him Cargo band. Dave. Yeah.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, man.
I think so.
They did all these songs and nobody noticed them because they were singing soul. That to show you the greatness of these guys.
This is where Dave came, you know, Dave is an all-rounder. He was an all-rounder, you know, musically. You
But
know?
the whole world forget that Dave Barker could sing because of Double Barrel and Monkey Spanner.
It shows you, isn't it? Okay, I've got two other questions here and I'm going to be finished with the interview. If you could have your fans remember one thing about you, what would it be? What would you like them to remember about you, Mr. King?
Love. There's love in my heart for everyone.
Each and every one, man. Serious.
So, and I hope that comes through my songs. You know, whether I'm doing roots music, whether I'm doing love music, or whether you meet me on the street, you can ask anybody from here, from to Brixton to Leicester to Birmingham. There's only one thing that I try to do. Do unto others as you'd like them to do to you. And I'd like love to be the thing, central theme. Yeah, man.
That you remembered
That
for.
I remember for,
I hear
you know, and try to put in various amount of different sound combinations.
To reflect that.
To reflect that love, you know.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, now, obviously in your experience, your musical experience, you've had highs and lows. And, you know, like you said, when you did the People Had Enough album, you really had enough, you know. So for up and coming artists that wants to make their career in music, what advice would you give them on their journey?
Advice. It depends on the experience that you're having at the time, but the advice that I would give them that they must practice every day and learn to play, because one of the things that
you say learn to play an instrument if you're a singer.
Yeah, I'll be multi-talented like Prince and play everything. One of the things that why I don't do personal appearances that my songs them is kind of a little bit different. Them is very simple, and whereas you'll be doing this on the beat, I'll be probably doing
Yes.
Owen Gray kind of show me the way you can slide out. Of course, Dave come with a thing now when I was fed up and couldn't catch certain things. He said, you have a voice like you're in your wilderness song. And so you must come out, shout it out, bawl it out, fly like an eagle. And that's, I would like to, don't let nobody pin you down.
Right.
As a young artist. The whole world is your oyster, man. You know, so, and there's many different things in the whole world. We are in prison within what to do in this prison. And it's set for a certain kind of music. Radio station play set music. Reggae music is just a fringe.
It's all set, yeah.
You don't understand? So
there's no variation.
You're right, it's set. If you do reggae, then you know so well you're at the back of the queue. And yet if their own people do reggae, it's at the front of the queue. So that I find very strange. You understand? So I tell anybody that's getting into music, if you're gonna do it for money first, then you're on the wrong track.
Motive is wrong.
Yep.
Motive is wrong.
The motive is right.
Yeah.
Serious.
Do it for the creation.
Yeah, man.
And the one is the healing power of music. That same music that heal you, that inspire you. You want to inspire somebody else.
Serious.
I hear you.
And that is the thing, you see?
Serious.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you, Frenchie King, for that.
You're welcome, Miss Jenny.
We've heard some, I really like what you had to say there. So for up and coming artists, I think two things we've learned from Frenchie King and what I've also learned from Dave Barker is that find your purpose, find you, be yourself
True.
in what you're doing in your music. Don't be intimidated by all the other artists out there. Find who you are, be comfortable in that and do you.
Yes.
You know, because whatever music you have, we need to hear it. We want to hear it, and there's so many variations out there. So this is Jenny J signing off. Thanking you again, Mr. King, for giving us your time and giving us your pearls of wisdom. And we're going to call that one a wrap.